It began like many things in hip-hop today, not with a song or a music video, but with a short video clip. Rick Ross, embodying his signature boss persona, casually spoke on camera and made a statement that ignited a cultural firestorm. In his smooth, deliberate manner, he revealed that he used to take 50 Cent's youngest son, Sire Jackson, fishing while the boy's mother was on Star Island, creating content with Diddy. It didn't come off as an insult, it lacked the sharpness of a formal rap feud. Yet, it resonated more powerfully than any diss track could, due to its implications and the individuals involved. By the way, welcome to Celebrity Hip Hop Showroom, where hip hop and celebrity drama never sleep, so hit that subscribe button so you never miss the mess. Let's get into it. Ross wasn't merely name-dropping for attention or trying to revive a long-forgotten rivalry without reason. This moment was part of a broader narrative, a subtle clash of ego, legacy, and masculinity that has been simmering in hip-hop for nearly 20 years. Rick Ross and 50 Cent share a complicated history that dates back to the late 2000s, when both were at the peak of their careers. However, this situation transcended music. It became deeply personal. You could sense it in Ross's tone. He wasn't bragging about a chart-topping hit or a new business venture. He was introspective, deliberate, and perhaps a bit resentful. With just one sentence, he crafted an image that resonated far deeper than a mere insult. He portrayed himself as the father figure, the stable provider, while the boy's biological father was absent from that picture, and his mother was elsewhere, entangled in the chaos surrounding Sean Diddy Combs. To grasp why this moment struck such a chord, it's essential to revisit the history between Rick Ross and 50 Cent. Their feud isn't new or contrived. It traces back to 2009 when Ross took offense at 50's perceived glance during the BET Awards. That seemingly trivial incident escalated into one of the most brutal rivalries in rap history, marked by diss tracks, attempts at public humiliation, and real-life repercussions that extended beyond music. 50 Cent, ever the strategic provocateur, brought Ross's personal life into the public eye, most notoriously by leaking a sex tape involving the mother of Ross's child. It was a low blow, even by the standards of rap feuds. Legal battles ensued, resulting in millions in damages. But more importantly, a boundary was established that neither man has dared to cross since. When Rick Ross casually mentioned fishing with 50 Cent's son, it wasn't merely a boast, it was a calculated jab. Fishing is a serene, personal activity that involves patience, connection, and trust. Ross wasn't just indicating that he spent time with Sire, he was suggesting that while the boy's actual father was absent, Ross was the one providing him with genuine experiences. In the same breath, he brought up Diddy and Star Island, not with hostility, but with that characteristic Ross nonchalance, as if he were discussing an ordinary Tuesday. In hip-hop, however, no statement is ever as straightforward as it seems. By 2025, with the culture more attuned than ever to every word, nuance, and clip, this moment hit hard. Social media exploded. Comment sections buzzed with speculation, loyalties shifted, and once again, Rick Ross and 50 Cent found themselves at the eye of a cultural whirlwind, not due to new music, but because of history, memory, and pride. This moment also highlighted deeper issues: the portrayal of fatherhood in hip-hop, the preservation of legacy, and how men in this realm leverage their roles, not just as artists, but as fathers. Ross's portrayal of himself as a steady, guiding figure in Sire's life starkly contrasts with 50 Cent's well-known troubled relationships with both of his sons. His eldest son, Marquise, has publicly criticized him for years, and now, with Ross's subtle revelation, questions are being raised about his youngest son as well. It's complicated, it's personal, and it's undeniably hip-hop. What Ross is doing here, whether intentionally or not, is creating a new type of narrative, one in which he is not merely a mogul, rapper, or businessman, but rather a steward and protector. He positions himself as someone who steps up when others fail to do so. By linking this image to 50 Cent's son, he aims to alter the long-standing narrative that 50 has crafted over the years, where Ross is perpetually in a position of inferiority, always playing catch-up and being the target of 50's elaborate and harsh tactics. This time, however, the dynamics are shifting. There's an additional aspect that shouldn't be overlooked. the involvement of Diddy in this narrative. Sean Combs has recently made headlines for negative reasons, facing allegations, raids, and scrutiny regarding his past actions and his empire. So when Ross mentions Diddy in the context of making content with Sire's mother, he's not merely referencing a place or a moment. He's linking her, and by extension 50, to someone whose public image is currently deteriorating under the weight of numerous controversies. That's the cleverness of the statement. It accomplishes a lot with very few words. It portrays Ross as the hero, the stable and trustworthy figure amidst chaos, while casting 50 Cent in the shadow of being an absent father. Furthermore, it connects the entire situation to one of the most scandal-plagued figures in the industry right now, all without raising his voice or appearing to engage in a feud. This is why the culture can't stop discussing it. For once, Rick Ross isn't delivering a diss track or engaging in social media battles. Instead, he's allowing his legacy to resonate in more subtle yet equally impactful ways. He's harnessing the power of calm. In a genre where loudness has traditionally been the preferred weapon, silence can prove to be even more formidable. This raises an important question. What does this mean for 50 Cent? He hasn't reacted yet, at least not with the same intensity we've seen in previous years. Perhaps he's waiting for the right moment or selectively choosing his battles. Or maybe, just maybe, he understands that Ross has struck a more sensitive chord this time. When children are involved, especially presented with such calm confidence, the dynamics shift. Now, the public is paying attention. They're anticipating. If 50 does respond, it can't be with his usual methods, trolling, memes, or mockery. Those tactics won't suffice anymore, especially when the discussion revolves around fatherhood, protection, and being present. Not when Rick Ross is portrayed as the composed mentor, the provider, the man who took another's son fishing while others were busy chasing fame and content. There's a broader commentary at play regarding how hip-hop's veterans are transitioning into new roles, whether they like it or not. The era of constant diss tracks and feuds for entertainment is waning. Audiences are becoming more sensitive, and the culture is evolving. So when someone like Ross presents a moment like this, it resonates on a deeper, more mature level, ultimately making a greater impact. It's not just about fishing, it's about who is there for others. This is what makes this moment so striking. Ross isn't trying to portray himself as a saint, nor is he depicting 50 as a villain in an overt manner. Instead, he communicates through silence, implication, and a single sentence that carries significant weight. In doing so, he is reclaiming a narrative that has often felt just out of his grasp. Let's be clear. Rick Ross has always been overshadowed by 50 Cent in their rivalry. 50 was louder, funnier, and more ruthless, often turning Ross into a punchline. But now, in 2025, the dynamics have shifted. Ross isn't engaging in 50's old battles. He's playing a different game where presence equates to power, and quiet moments reveal true character. We don't know how much time Ross spent with Sire, the context of their interaction, or even if 50 was aware of it. But that's not the main point. The focus is on the image, the implication, and the transformation of perception. And in this culture, perception is everything. It's still unclear if this moment will mark a new phase in their rivalry. However, one thing is undeniable. Rick Ross has executed one of the most surprising, clever, and strategic actions in hip-hop this year, and he did it seamlessly. All it took was a fishing pole, a name, a place, and a rich history. The streets are paying attention, the blogs are abuzz, and it's evident that this conflict is far from finished. It's simply transforming. The men who once dominated with aggression are now discovering how to succeed with a more fluid approach. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.